So we're back with our weekly review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. This time it's episode 9, our horror episode of the season. And I'm glad we're getting a more serious episode after last week's whimsical episode. But episode 9 also gives us hints of what's coming up in the second season of the series. Of course, this is the penultimate episode, with next week being the season 1 final. As such, spoiler warning, this video headset will be discussing all things Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode 9. Turn away, you have been warned. Hey everyone, my name's Captain Jack and welcome to Trek Central. Let's get straight into it. Episode 9 is titled All Those Who Wander and is written by Davey Perez, who co-wrote Memento Mori earlier in season 1. The episode is also directed by Christopher J. Byrne, who has previously directed 3 Discovery episodes. That's pretty cool. The official synopsis follows the lines of the Enterprise coming face to face with their demons, which also includes scary monsters as well. The landing party is stranded on a barren planet, with the crashed Sombra class USS Peregrine. Peregrine. I might have got that pronunciation right, let's go for it. So before we warp into this video, if you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. By the way, we just passed 90,000 subscribers, so can we get to 100k sometime soon? You can also follow us on social media for your daily updates on the Star Trek universe. But as always, please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, because if you're talking about Star Trek, then of course we want to hear about it. Okay, engage. All Those Who Wander is a very interesting episode title, and probably links into the storyline of a horror that Strange New Worlds is trying to tell, with her truly not finding a place yet on the Enterprise, or even Starfleet as a whole. She's simply left to wander, and this makes sense given we have Uhura giving her cadet personal log at the start of the episode. What else this episode title could mean is something that strays from what it should, and that could definitely be related to multiple things, from the USS Peregrine being stuck on a planet, to the Gorn who, spoiler alert, appear in this episode. The highlight of the episode, however, had to be Hemmer and Uhura, but already the interaction between Uhura and Hemmer has been an amazing part of Strange New Worlds, given an almost mentor/father figure to this iconic character of Uhura, something the character very much needed personally. We get some great interaction between the two in this very same episode, with her saying that she'll miss Hemmer due to her finishing her cadet assignment aboard the Enterprise, even fixing engineering problems with him and referring to their team as Hemura, which is amazing by the way, if only that username stuck around a bit longer. But we have to eventually talk about the elephant in the room, or in this case the Anar in the room, but he's not in the room anymore, he's dead. And that is Hemmer and his sacrifice at the end of the episode. Did I like it? Well, yeah. Did I want it to happen? No. Chief Engineer Hemmer would also need to depart somewhere. A fan favourite character could return home to Andoria, or perhaps just transfer to another ship. I mean, he could die as well, but let's be honest, we'll be on the picket lines if that happens. Do not touch my Hemmer. Imagine killing off a fan favourite character, who could do that? Hemmer's been an excellent new addition to the characters of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and has come to be a fan favourite, and I would love to have spent more time with his character, but his fate was really nice in a way. We learned a while back that Hemmer views that will die when he's fulfilling his purpose, and when asked what his purpose is, it's to fix what is broken. And then to find out during his funeral, the thing he was able to fix was Uhura's heart. It's so amazing and emotional, and you just know the look at the path of Uhura and know Hemmer's place there is really sweet. We can definitely see this fate of Hemmer being seeded now that we know, with his talk about fulfilling his purpose and also staying true to his principles of pacifism. He will not kill, but will protect his crew, and he does that in this episode, freezing the Gorn. I will say that having Hemmer die on a planet which reminds him of home is really sweet in a sense, so I really like that. He will be missed, that blue meanie that Ortega's refers to him as, but in a short time he's definitely solidified himself among those who call themselves Chief Engineers of the Enterprise. How does this episode impact the Gorn we first met in the original series? A question we've had to ask ourselves twice in Strange New Worlds so far. Now the Gorn in this episode is much more primal, which is similar to what we witnessed of them in episode 4, Memento Mori. Yet in both episodes, we've seen a smart enemy. Though with this episode dealing with the Gorn babies, it does feel to me that these Gorn might be a product of genetic engineering, something which seems a general theme of the season. This could be how the Gorn hatchlings are able to avoid sensors immediately after birth. Therefore, this could mean that the Gorn in this episode are different from the Gorn we see in the original series, something which Beta Canon love to do, with the Gorn having a number of different reptilian-like species under their actual name. This one is more primal, and its more biological makeup renders it invisible to most sensors. However, this invisibility to sensors at least matches up with some previous interpretations of the Gorn, with the Star Trek Enterprise episode In a Mirror Darkly, and being able to locate the Gorn but not pinpoint its location, perhaps because the Defiant in that episode was more modern than this USS Peregrine. But apart from this miniature of canon and how this Gorn fits in with the Gorn we know, there was a message and theme that has to be discussed. This episode, and the one before it in Strange New Worlds, looks at the Gorn like the xenomorph from Alien, a bioengineered alien that is designed to kill and duplicate, taking some very liberal inspirations from the xenomorph with the eggs in people and bursting out of them. Also being on an inhospitable planet and not liking the cold. This almost suggests that there isn't a theme for the Gorn, as said in interviews and behind the scenes with creatives such as Akiva Goldsman. Gorn are just evil. In the original series, the Gorn was something more akin to Native Americans, if we can make that comparison. In fact, these human colonists have spread their territory, even though without them, and they were simply defending their homes at the end of the day. I guess we can compare it to Maquis in a sense. I think in order to have both the evil alien-esque Gorn and this more thematic Gorn, it is still possible in lore, but maybe something akin to the Xindi in future, where it's simply a name for a collection of reptilian species, and the Adventures of Pike has simply met one Xindi reptilian aspect, and not the Xindi Boyle or the Xindi Primate, of which the Gorn which Kirk might have encountered in the original series. If that makes sense to you or might be a bit confusing. If you understand Star Trek Enterprise, you'll get what we mean. Okay, so don't forget that Trek Central's very own Commander Dom, Starfleet Boy, and Techstrax will be live here on this channel this Sunday, answering all your questions and more about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Find the team live at 2100 BST with international times on screen right now. See you there. Say what you want about La'an as a character, she has come a long way. Her moment with Captain Pike at the end of episode 9 was rather touching, I think. Especially when she turns around and thanks him for all he's done, even referring to him as Chris. I can't really tell you why I found this moment touching, but it does show us that Pike goes above and beyond for those who serve under him. So what's La'an's next move? Well, it could be the case she's not going anywhere right away. We're aware that she's due to be in the second season of Strange New Worlds, so we're not losing Christina Chong anytime soon, thankfully. But in this episode, La'an's the one who remains the coolest, and doesn't flashback and suffer like you'd expect as the tropey trauma survivor reliving it we kind of see in episode 4. But actually is someone who's come a long way to overcome their trauma, and is the most cool-headed and composed out of all of the away team. This is probably due to a mention near the beginning of the episode that she's been dealing with a therapist and overcoming this essentially. So talking of working through things, Spock lets some of his emotions out in order to deal with the Gorn, and this is interesting. Obviously a very common misconception both in-universe and out of universe is that Vulcans are sterile and emotionless. But we know that Vulcan emotions are simply much stronger than human emotions, and it's through logic and their control, so it doesn't control them essentially. Well, with this much younger Spock, it seems like he's let the genie out of a bottle in a sense. It seems he's trying to get his emotions back under control, now that they're let out slightly. I feel like this will have some impact in the next episode and perhaps the upcoming second season. It'd be really cool to explore, honestly. Overall, this was a solid episode, an enjoyable one to watch with some very bittersweet moments and other emotions laid within. The episode wasn't the tightest, as I didn't really feel out a proper direction of what it was trying to say, but this didn't detriment the episode too much, and there was still a lot within the episode as a whole. Episode 9 didn't lean too much into the horror aspect, but I personally would have liked. Something more akin to Enterprise's Impulse for those who remember that episode. But for what the episode was trying to do, it did do it reasonably okay, I guess. But I felt like some after the first hatching attack, some of the tension and stakes were actually lost. The music again, by Naomi Melmond, keeps outdoing herself with the musical score for Strange New Worlds. Having tense music, victorious music, and then even really bittersweet music. She really conveys a lot of emotions with her scores, and it complements their respective scenes extremely well. It's just heightening everything. Can we get the soundtrack now please? I really want it. The camera work as well in this episode was really good, with a lot of close and personal shots with the characters, giving the ship's corridors, which usually in the Enterprise feel quite spacious, a very claustrophobic feel to them. All the sets feel much smaller than on the Enterprise, and this is just a set redressing, similar to the halls of the Enterprise being used in last week's Elysium episode. This time they were used for the USS Peregrine, and they do a really good job of distinguishing both ships in a sense. Quickly speaking of the Peregrine, Peregrine is identified as a Sombra class starship. Mbenga points out that he even has previously served in one of these classes, and it's made out of the same parts of the Constitution class is made of. It's also described as a rare class by La'an. Why is that? It does feel like a cheap cop-out in a sense. We could have easily had another class of starship here to explore. Why not one of the many classes seen in Star Trek Discovery? Yes, using a Connie makes sense for the sake of budget, it just feels like lackluster in my opinion. But even if it was to explain the use of the Enterprise set, you can just say the ship was refitted with new interiors if it was a disco ship. It will be the first time we've reused sets for different ships on different eras in Star Trek history. Meh, it just feels weird. Now, ending of her finding a place at communications of the Enterprise, but now with purpose. This was a rather touching moment of the episode, and works rather well to keep Uhura on board Enterprise. I mean, she could have simply left and then come back later, but I think Hemmer's death had obviously motivated her to stay longer and integrate with the crew. The death of Hemmer is something none of us expected, however is now the case as we wave goodbye to another iconic Starfleet chief engineer. You know, while the Enterprise now needs a chief engineer, I'm really hoping that this character of Hemmer has not been done dirty for the sake of someone taking his place. Someone before we've already known. You all know who I mean. We'll talk more about this in the coming weeks, as we're not surprised if we start to hear more things coming down the pipeline. I'm just very cautious about how things might play out right now, and I hope it's not going down the direction I see it going down. So what did you think of the latest Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode? Love it? Hate it? Start crying at certain scenes? Come on. Let us know what you think in the video comment section below, because like always, if you're talking about Star Trek, then of course, we want to hear about it. Do you want to keep up to date with the latest Star Trek news, lore and more? Hit that subscribe button and that like button to make sure to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe you love. Don't forget to visit our website, where we recently began exploring a couple of new Star Trek theories. Oh, and come join our Discord server as well, because we love chatting with you. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.